Okay, good morning, fourth grade student. How are you today? I hope all of you is always healthy and keep staying at home, okay? Today we're back again in Science 4, Chapter 2 and Lessons 2, okay? It is about what are the environmental factors of a habitat, okay? Okay, let's get started. Okay, here are the environmental factors that affect the habitat. Okay, the first one we have temperature, we have water, we have light, we have air, we have soil, we have availability of food, and we have other organisms. Okay, let's get started to the meaning of each factors. Okay, the first one we have temperature. So the temperature of an environment is to measure and know if the condition is hot or cold. Okay. The first one, if the temperature is too high or too hot, so plants and animals may lose too much water. Okay, or it could be die. Okay, just camel and cactus can live in these kinds of situations. Okay, and then the second one, if the temperature is too low, okay, plants and animals might die from cold or lack of water because the water may freeze. Okay, just several of Arctic animals can live in these kinds of situations. Okay, the next one we have water. Okay, everyone need water. Okay, as we can see here, every creatures need water to live and survive. So the amount of water inhabited is depends on how much it is rains. Okay, for example, animals need water to survive, plants need water to grow, and humans need water to live. Okay, next one we have light. Okay, the amount of sunlight in a habitat can be determined by the types of plants that live there. Okay, plants need sunlight to make food or by photosynthesis, and most of animals also need light to move around and find food. As you can see on the screen, we have worm as the example of animals that need light to move and find food. Okay, by light. Okay. And then the next one we have air. Okay, air is important for organisms to carry out life processes, especially to take a breath. Okay, everyone needs to take a breath. Okay, uh, if it's just plant, animals or persons. Okay, the first one, as you can see on the screen, plants need carbon dioxide to make food and oxygen for respirations for us. Okay, so plants need carbon dioxide as their producer, and then they produce oxygen for us as human. Okay, and other creatures like animal or etc. Okay, and then animal also need air to breathe. Okay, and then that you need to know, in mountain there are less oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, because the conditions of mountain is too high, so the carbon dioxide is less there. Okay, and then if the conditions in the water, plants and animals get oxygen and carbon dioxide from air dissolved in the water. Okay. Okay, the next one we have soil. Okay, soil is important for plants and animals. Okay, as you can see on the screen, soil is important for plants to grow. Okay, plants get their water and nutrients from soil. As you can see on the screen, different plants need different type of soil. Okay, you can see the plants is different and the color of the soil is different too. Okay, and then the second one, the type of soil also determines the type of animal that can live in them. Okay, for example, as you can see here, the earthworms live in low soil. Okay, the next one we have availability of foods. Okay, the first one, as we know, plants can produce their own food by using sunlight as their source of energy, and the process of making their food is called as photosynthesis. But animals cannot make their own food, so they need to find food from the other resources or the other creatures. Okay, for example, as we know, the herbivore as the animal that have to find food by depending on plants. Okay, the first one we can see here, herbivore is based on plants that grow around them, but some kinds of animal like omnivore or carnivore need to eat other kinds of meat. Okay, so some animal sometimes need to eat other animals. Okay, animals also have to compete with one and another for food. So if animals cannot get food in habitat, they cannot live there. Okay, as you can see here, the lion eat other kinds of animal, and then these kinds of bird need to compete with other to get some kinds of food. Okay, and then the last one is the factor from other organisms. So the presence of other organisms in a habitat can affect the survival of populations. So as you can see on the screen, some organisms depend on one another. So they are related or need each other. Okay, for example, as you can see here, okay, some kinds of habitat. So as we can say, trees provide food and shelter for some forest animal. Okay, here is the forest animal. You can see monkey and also elephant. So they have their own shelter. Okay, for example, trees, like I said before. So it turns the animals that feed on the fruit of the trees and help to disperse the seed to other places. So they need to get other organisms. Okay, so the role of other organism is important here. Okay, and then every living creatures need room to exist and reproduce. So the natural home of a plant, animal, or other organism is known as its habitat, and maintaining this space is crucial to the ongoing survival of both individuals and species. So they need each other to survive and live. Okay, as I said before, every creatures cannot live alone. Okay, so they need other kinds of organisms. So last one, we need to protect our habitat. So we need to protect the habitat that already exists. So while the significant tract of habitat have been lost, okay, and along with them many species of plants and animals disappear, so steps can be taken to slow and even reserve the process. So one key is measure is to the establishment of protected area where humans activity is restricted in order to conserve existing ecosystem and wildfire or wildlife. Okay, so the well-planned and well-managed reserve, park, and forest can help to safeguard the freshwater and food supplies for them. They also can reduce the poverty and reduce the impact of natural disaster. Okay, that's all about some factor or some environmental factors that cause habitat. Okay, thank you. I hope you understand about it, and don't forget to check your Google Classroom for the tasks. Okay, thank you. See you in the next meeting.